I have a super funny interview story, and it cracks me up to this day, and I think about it almost weekly or daily. So when I was being recruited by Stryker, and I was going through the interview process, it's obviously a very intricate and long process. There's likely thousands of applicants for every open position. And again, this is actually, let's talk back 10, 15 years ago when the industry was even a lot more lucrative and not better, but a lot more loose. So HR called me and they said, okay, you have a phone interview, but we're not gonna fly you into the real interview. And I said, wow, that doesn't sound like that's a good sign. She goes, no, it happens. But because you live 3 states away, they're not gonna fly you in. I said, okay, sounds good, I'll be prepared. And she gave me, at this point I'd already passed the Gallup, which is a kind of a psychological test to make sure you profile properly for the Stryker type. So I'd passed the Gallup, actually barely, and it was pretty funny because they told me I was low on courage. And what I later realized, obviously a Marine Corps combat sniper isn't low on courage, but what I was low on or high on to make my courage low is humility, which we all know in sales, not very many people are humble or understand what that word even means. So I knew I needed to get face-to-face in order to actually get hired through the hiring manager. So what I did is I called HR back. I said, just in case I lose reception with this, I'd feel really comfortable knowing where they're at so I can call to make sure that I can gain access. She said, well, it'll be fine. I said, can I just get the location? That would make me feel a lot better. She said, okay, absolutely. It's gonna be at the Hyatt in San Diego, downtown. I said, perfect. All right, well then if for some reason something goes wrong with the phones, I'll be able to call the location and make sure I can get them on the line. So she gave me the information. Well, when the day came, I flew into the location to San Diego the night before. I knew where the interview was going to be processed and done the following morning. So I got up early, I had my suit, I was all prepared. I watched the area where I saw actually a number of different interviews going, and it was a total crack up. I watched and found through the course of about 3 hours who I was going to be interviewing with, and I got to see what type of people they were talking to, and I moved closer to where they were at so I could actually hear them interview. So by the time it came to me, they went to grab the phone, dialed me in. I picked up the phone and walked up right next to him. And Seth Brousseau, one of my industry heroes, said, you got the job. You got the job, that's it. Sit down, let's have a talk. So it was a really funny experience. For me, being a small team operator, observing and learning before you talk is something that keeps you alive. And that's exactly what I did for the interview process. And I heard so many folks kind of just mouth diarrhea. And they were so nervous that they couldn't even function at the interview. And it helped me tremendously because, again, I didn't come from this industry, and most of the people that have just thrive on all the experience that they've had in sales to get there. So long story short, I got the job. I was low on courage for the Gallup, which is still hilarious. And it was an amazing experience at Stryker that taught me so much.